Vatican City. The tiniest country in the world, smaller than most shopping malls, yet it's a fully independent country. How does that even happen? Stick around because today we're exploring every country that shouldn't exist and why they somehow do. 1. Vatican City, Europe. At just 0.2 square miles, Vatican City is basically a city with a border. It's home to around 800 residents, mostly clergy, and yet it's considered its own country. Here's the twist. Back in 1929, the Lateran Treaty gave it independence from Italy, creating a microstate ruled by the Pope. That means you can walk through Rome, cross a tiny wall, and suddenly you're in another country. No passport needed. Fun fact, Vatican City even has its own postal service, bank, and a tiny army called the Swiss Guard. It's like a country in miniature and the world's most exclusive country club. 2. San Marino, Europe. Nestled inside Italy is San Marino, a country that's been around since 301 AD. Yep, it's older than most countries on the map today. Why it exists? It's a tiny mountaintop republic that resisted conquest for centuries. The twist, it's completely surrounded by Italy, yet it has its own laws, stamps, and even a national football team. Fun fact, despite being tiny, it boasts one of the world's oldest constitutions, from 1600. 3. Lesotho, Africa. Now let's head to southern Africa. Lesotho is an entire country completely surrounded by South Africa. That's right, one country inside another. Here's the story. The Basotho people retreated to the mountains to escape neighboring tribes in the 19th century. Eventually, they negotiated with the British to become a protectorate, and later an independent nation. Twist. Lesotho's border follows the mountains, not rivers or straight lines, which makes it look like it's carved out by a giant cookie cutter. Fun fact, it's the only country in the world where every point is above 1,000 meters in elevation. 4. Nauru, Oceania. Tiny Nauru is the world's third smallest country, with less than 12,000 people. Here's the weird part. It exists because of phosphate mining. In the early 20th century, Nauru became a colony for phosphate exploitation, then claimed independence in 1968. Twist. It's so small you could walk across the entire country in under an hour. But it's technically a country with its own government, flag, and Olympic team. Fun fact, Nauru once had the highest GDP per capita in the world thanks to phosphate before it ran out. 5. Monaco, Europe. Monaco is a tiny city-state on the French Riviera, home to the rich and famous. Why it exists? Centuries ago, the Grimaldi family took over a fortress and slowly negotiated independence from France. Twist, it's just 0.78 square miles, but it has its own monarchy, police, and casinos, all inside a luxurious microstate. Fun fact, Monaco has no income tax, which is why billionaires flock there. Talk about a country with perks. 6. Tuvalu, Oceania. Tuvalu is a cluster of tiny atolls in the Pacific with fewer than 12,000 residents. Here's the twist. It's technically a country, even though it's smaller than many cities and it's threatened by rising sea levels. Why it exists? Like many Pacific islands, colonial borders left it independent in 1978. Fun fact, Tuvalu sells internet domain names .tv, and that's one of its main sources of revenue. 7. Liechtenstein, Europe. Liechtenstein is a small alpine country between Switzerland and Austria. Twist, it exists because of a combination of medieval politics and clever diplomacy. The tiny principality survived Napoleon, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and 2 world wars, all without losing sovereignty. Fun fact, it's one of the only countries where you can ski and then walk to another country in under 30 minutes. 8. Bhutan, Asia. Bhutan is a Himalayan kingdom known for its focus on gross national happiness. Twist, it's one of the few countries never colonized, yet it's completely landlocked between India and China. Borders were negotiated with diplomacy and clever treaties, so it just exists. Fun fact, it has a mysterious reputation because it only opened up to the outside world in the 1970s. From Vatican City to Palau, the world is full of countries that defy logic, history, or size expectations. Borders, treaties, and accidents have left behind these tiny microstates and strange nations. Next time you look at a map, remember, the world is a lot weirder than it looks. and there are plenty more countries that shouldn't exist. But do! If you enjoyed this journey through the world's quirkiest countries, like this video, hit subscribe and check out the next video to explore even more geographic mysteries.